Hi, I'm Diana Montford, the world's first transgender television journalist. Born male, became female, you know the drill. Anyway, further adventures with weird people. That's our show, of whom I am the weirdest. My guests are stand-up comedian and sex worker advocate, would you say?
Sure.
Ms. Caitlin Bailey, who's a cisgender woman, transgender woman and transgender activist, Ms. Billy Cooper, and our wonderful friend whom you see many a time on this show, transgender activist, Ms. Cayenne Dorashow. And I am the Beaver. Anyway, I'm Diana Montford. That's an old TV show, Leave It to Beaver, which we all have, of course, on this panel. But anyway, we are going to talk about whatever the hell we feel like talking about. Yeah, so let's talk to our nice new guest, Ms. Billy Cooper. So what's your story?
Well, thank you for inviting me, Diane.
I never heard of you. She invited you.
Well, my name is Miss Billy Cooper. I'm from San Francisco, California. I'm a longtime community activist for transgender rights and issues. I believe in, my mission statement is respect for all trans women, trans men too, for all people, and and to help the marginalized transgendered woman, especially African American, rise up and flourish and spread her wings and fly and come out of being homelessness and being on drugs.
But how realistic is that in a white hegemony, which will not allow women of color, never mind transgender women of color, to rise up and claim their rightful place?
Well, I'm one of the lucky ones. I've been clean and sober for 15 years. I'm an ex-sex worker, but every now and then I trip to life fantastic, because some men still want the old broads,
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't want a skinny 25-year-old.
Yes.
So, but I'm here to say it's possible. Some people are going to die in addiction. Some people are going to get help in the program. Some people are going to stop by themselves. And, some people are going to continue in their addiction. And that's just the way it is.
I mean, addiction's a killer, whether you're a member of a marginalized community or not. I know a lot of white dudes that are killing themselves with drugs. It's certainly not, it's not like the trans community is like uniquely susceptible to drugs.
Well, but I can only talk about my experience.
No, of course. And what you're doing is incredible and supportive, and congratulations on your journey. But I think it's about, we have to support our most marginalized members in a community. It's not realistic for us to continue going on in this way of killing people in the name of making money or whatever the objective is. That's not realistic.
But it's the 1% who are making the money. They don't care if all of us die, so long as there are enough of us left to be their servants and or sex workers.
But it's also the 1% of us that are out here doing the work, making sure another trans woman is uplifted. It's some of us out here literally in the process of developing what it looks like to change a black trans sex worker's life.
Well, yes, but there are also white trans sex workers.
There's a privilege with being white, and when it comes
What
to
is
being
it? Explain it.
privilege, pigmentation, start there. Birth is the first privilege. The second privilege comes from society and how you're viewed and how you're accepted. As a black trans woman, you're not going to get that. I just helped a black trans woman. I've been bringing her back from the Bay Area. She just went into UCLA. This is her second degree. I'm supposed to support that. She's a porno star, a sex worker. She's done it all, and an advocate, and now she's moving on. I have another one that's going to school to be a nurse and just graduated.
I think
But
So
excuse
it's
me.
changing that demographic.
But is that a good thing? I mean,
Yeah.
as a whore, she has independence and freedom and cash.
But she
and as a
started
nurse,
as a
she's going to be
hoe.
under the thumb of a hospital and doctors. And
She will have what she needs to financially sustain. She used whole money to get where she's got.
But where'd she go? It seems to be not even a lateral move,
There's
sort of a
market-
downward
there's a
spiral.
market for
You know what I
everything.
mean?
But if you want an education, this government is not going to give you the education you
No,
want.
but wouldn't you say that she has a better life as a quote-unquote whore than she would as a
No.
nurse?
No, I'm saying she
I had a
would
tuna
have
salad sandwich just now and my
financial
breath reeks.
stability. She will have an income and something to retire, God willing, with this man in office, but she will have a chance to step out of sex work and into work that she feels this is her quest to be a nurse. The other young lady wants to be a doctor and will go to school until the day she died to become a doctor of several things. And to see a young black trans sex worker pull this off, I am flabbergasted. This is what I want to see out of changing because of this law.
Absolutely, and we shouldn't allow like racism, transphobia, or whorephobia to keep anyone from their life's mission. I think that the amount of human potential that we end up bulldozing over because of all of this irrational fear is the thing that's holding us back as a culture and as a species.
Well, I don't think a whore wakes up in the morning and go, oh, bitch, I want to die a whore.
All right.
Oh, I just want to die.
I mean, I don't want to die a nurse either. Like, I want to die in a bed surrounded by people that I love.
But also, ladies, beauty is only temporary. Stupidity lasts forever.
Yes.
And when I was out there working the streets in Oakland, California, San Francisco, California,
At least the weather's nice.
Many years ago. Well, some nights you stand out in the rain too. You know, it's not always sunshine.
Do you get clients? Are they?
Of course. For 10 years, I worked the streets of Oakland.
In the rain?
Well, not in the rain.
That's what I mean.
But,
Are they? You know.
Yeah, the Johns are still out there. The tricks are still out there in the rain. Yeah, but I'm trying to say, to create a picture, that some nights are good, even if you have a regular clientele. Some nights are good. You might get $500 to $1,000 or more, and some nights you might go home with $5.
Well, excuse me. It seems to me that it pays a lot better to be a whore than to be a nurse.
Well, sweetie,
I think
job
you're
period.
wrong about how nursing works.
The whole book on this. A job period. Having a career that you built, not somebody designated or designed for you. If we're gonna play this little game,
I don't think we should be pitting nurses against whores. I don't think that was the goal here.
That's
I don't understand how we got here. I don't know why we went down this road.
I love nurses.
I know Madame Curie is turning in her grave, honey.
And this is a young woman who 2 years ago couldn't speak good English. She came from Uganda with nothing. So look at God.
And
look
now
at
someday she'll be able to empty bedpans. That's America.
She'll be a respected professional with benefits and access
she'll be able to
parts
do what
of
she wants to do. That's
and what
the
she
bigger
wants
picture.
to do.
Okay.
Yes.
Whatever.
We can't all aspire to be television stars.
But anyway, and there was no sexual harassment involved. They screamed when they saw me and locked all the doors, so I was not harassed. But anyway, I got this on my talent, which is why it's a shit show. But anyway, okay. So now, where do we go from here? We love nurses.
Well, we should go, and I would like to put out.
Yeah, you always did.
I would like to talk about my truth. For me and many of my transgender, transsexual sisters of color, now I'm going to say of color, we should always be able to have a platform waiting for us, or a platform that is out there, what I want to say, to be there just in case we would like to change the way we live, the way we do our sex work.
Let me ask you a question. Do you honestly think that in an unjust world where economics are slanted toward the 1% and to hell with everyone else, in a perfect world, sex workers, transgender sex workers of color would be able to do that? Do we live in a perfect world? Have we ever? Will we ever?
I think, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think that something that Ms. Billy Cooper was saying is that having a platform and telling your story and living your truth and living your best life is the only way to reclaim a small sliver of humanity. And whether we live in a perfect system or not, we have to do that. And I think that anyone who struggled with sobriety and that process knows that storytelling and releasing shame is the truth.
It's
and
also
I think
the process to help someone else.
Yes.
Going through.
And I think
it's a motive for someone to say, you know what, today was a good day, and maybe I can do that.
Yeah,
and there are no images of us out there. Very few images of us doing this work and changing other lives.
Us who?
Trans women, black trans women.
Now, would you say that it's easier for a white trans woman?
Of course it is.
Well, no, the reason why we say black trans women or women of color, because we know over the years that there is the oppressor and the oppressee. There is somebody with a thumb on each and every one of our backs, and the thumb on your back might not be pushing you down as far as it's pushing down someone. Yes, pushing them down in the pavement, in the concrete. But that's why we say black trans women or trans women of color. We're not saying it to be biased or racist or anything like that.
Just like Black Lives Matter doesn't mean that all lives don't matter.
Yes,
and black trans women, and we know that, I mean, Kyan and I know this deeply by running the podcast. Black trans women are the first people written out of the story.
And you know, realistically, I just found out the other day that we were never, black people, especially black trans women, were never in the narrative to get public medical care, to get education, to be put in a position of power. So, you know, that goes to say right then and there, we have to work triply hard, sometimes quadruply hard, to access schools and jobs, and to have the house with a white picket fence and 2.5 children and a husband.
Whereas I was just born into that. I mean, like, and it's been, and my privilege has been effortless. I mean, I like gave pieces of my privilege away coming out as a sex worker, and it hasn't impacted that. I mean, and I think that, like,
but being a woman, do you have the privilege?
Sure, of course.
She has more privilege than any of us sitting in here.
Yes, but
that's just the norm.
But that could be snatched away from her at any minute.
And silence.
Well, I mean, look at the senators and the representatives and the governors and the congressmen that are sleeping with trans women of every color. And look, they don't give us crap.
And sex workers.
Well, I'm saying sex workers, and they don't give us shit.
They've been setting mouthy whores on fire for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yes.
And I literally
or giving them TV shows.
And I would say that, like, the major tools of any abuser, whether it's an individual or a system, is silence and shame. And I think that, like, what we can do with this platform and what we can do by telling our story is to reject the silence and to reject the shame. And that's the antidote to this violent, oppressive system that we've been living in for all of us.
We now have the time to change the narrative.
Yes.
We have the chance now to vote, to get community to vote, to stand behind somebody. One of these politicians is going to help us, and we found one.
Hopefully.
No, we found one, Siraj Patel.
Siraj Patel is the first person running for federal office on a platform explicitly supporting sex workers.
In New York City?
In New York City. And
that's somebody, it's worth my time to invest, and I want my community to spend their time investing in somebody that's going to help.
You mean helping him with his campaign?
Helping him with his campaign, absolutely.
Being a part of the process.
And being a part of the process.
And what is he running for?
He's running for Congress.
He's running against Carolyn Maloney.
Yeah, Baloney Maloney.
Well, maybe so, but she's a
not
shoo-in.
a lover of sex work.
She's a shoo-in. She's my Congress member. And
she sucks.
I spoke with him outside a rally. I'm in local Democratic politics. And frankly, he admitted that he understood that his chances were not great.
Yeah.
But that he was doing this to build up credibility for when his chances would be better, perhaps in another kind of elected office.
Well, this is something powerful he's fighting.
I think that with the
Miss Maloney, no bueno.
Well, now let me ask you this.
No bueno.
Since he knows he's not going to win, and since he's an Indian man on the Upper East Side, which is...
Well, he's also in the Lower East Side and in Brooklyn.
But here's
places that Maloney has no name recognition because she does not go there and does not care about that, the part of her district.
No bueno.
But anyway, my point is this. He has nothing to lose by coming out in favor of the disenfranchised because his chances of winning are frankly nil, and he knows that.
There's a legislator in New Hampshire.
Somebody to fight for us. Whether he wins or not, we need somebody in their damn office that's going to fight to get into that office to change what's happening.
Do you honestly think that once a politician gets into office, she or he will remember?
You remind me of the kind of person that was so sure that Trump wouldn't win because of all the things
I was sure he would never win.
Right, because of all the things that you think are true. about politics, but Sesta Fosta has awakened a political awareness
In
of
a
sex
lot of
workers
people, yes.
in a lot of people that have never seen it before. And think about, now I've done the historical analysis. I've read through a lot of the literature. I am actually an expert in this issue. And I will tell you that if you
What
look
issue?
Sex workers in history.
Yes.
And I will tell you that between 20 and 25% of the cisgendered female population of any given culture at any given time engages in some kind of sex work at some point in their life. You pull back a little bit of that, you talk about just the raw numbers of people that have engaged in that work or are clients of that work or are one step removed that depend on the living of someone that works. We are a bigger demographic than the LGBT community, than any racial minority, than any religious minority. And if we are self-aware enough, we can move elections
But
in this
as
country.
you mentioned earlier,
That's why I like this little white girl. She's special. Yes.
But you think you know for sure what's going to
No.
happen. We have less than 7% of registered Democrats show up to vote in the last primary. We don't know
You
what we're
usually win on
capable
name
of.
recognition.
Yeah, but she doesn't have any name recognition outside of the 1%ers on the Upper East Side.
But-
That's not her whole district.
And the small and the meek shall overcome.
oh, yeah. Anyway, she
I'm
snarled
the meek.
cynically.
I'm the meek.
Anyway,
Vote June 26th in the New York primary.
Yes. Siraj Patel.
Yes,
Please.
yes.
June 26th.
well, that's not going to happen because this show will be shown after that.
Okay. Well then, your viewers will know which one of us was right.
Yes. I am in Democratic politics. I have been
I hope I'm scared for a second there.
I have been elected to crummy little offices. I've been a judicial delegate twice, and I was Wesley Clark's alternate delegate.
You've been up
But
on
then
your,
then you thought you would win
Yes.
too.
No, I didn't.
I'm sure you've been
You
up
didn't,
on
so
your few
then,
desks
as
before.
you asked the same question of why would Siraj Patel do that, why would you?
Why would I what?
Why would
Run.
you run for office?
If you knew you weren't going to
If
win.
you knew you were not going to win,
Well,
why
no,
did you do it?
what did I win? I mean, I was a judicial delegate twice. That I won.
But
And
no,
I
no,
was
no.
an
The
alternate
bigger
delegate.
picture is what we're talking.
That's my point. All right, and
Siraj Patel made an excellent point. When I asked him about his support of this issue, and he said, I thought about it, and the worst thing that someone could accuse me of is being pro-sex trafficking and pro-sex slavery, and it's such a transparently ludicrous thing to accuse another reasonable human being of, is that the risk of being pro-sex worker rights isn't actually that great, and it's loosening every day. There's a legislator in New Hampshire that is trying to get legislation passed, and she's a state senator trying to decriminalize sex work in New Hampshire. The same bill is being presented in Hawaii. We are starting to break through here in terms of supporting sex worker rights,
And
and I think that we
advocacy
need to
and
be
the
aware
process.
of is that through history, just because you're pro-sex worker rights doesn't mean that you're pro-black trans sex worker concerns, and that's why we need to keep having these conversations to make sure that we don't rewrite black,
History
trans,
again.
indigenous,
Right,
marginalized sex workers out of the story.
And I would like to interject one thing. In San Francisco, California, we are fighting for the Compton cafeteria.
Well, you have your own
community.
district, bitch. We don't have no district here.
Well, I'm saying
We
in San
have no
Francisco.
district in
I
New
still want to
York
put a
City.
plug out for San Francisco. We're fighting, myself, Janetta Johnston, and Honey Mahogany, and many trans women and men in San Francisco. We're fighting to have the Compton Cafeteria, a community center in San Francisco, and the Compton Community Neighborhood in San Francisco, a place where trans women can historically come, because there has been nothing for us, that we could come and we can rest and we can commune with each other and we can conversate and we can catch up with each other.
can't you just rent a place and do that?
No, in San Francisco, everybody else has their community center. Everybody else is graciously
But that's all over the world.
No, not really.
That's
no,
all
it's not.
over the world.
No, it's not.
That's
It's not all over the world. It's not all over the world.
It ain't here.
Well, it's not in
So
San
it is
Francisco
all
either.
over the world.
But if it was all over the world, New York would have theirs.
No, it's all over the world where they don't have one. So
Well-
San Francisco ain't no different from New York Baltimore, Alabama,
We're progressively
Kentucky.
working to make it life better for trans
It needs
women.
to happen everywhere for
Who do I have to fuck to
It
get
should.
off this show? For
Yeah.
Christ's sake? Okay.
It should, but I'm not here to argue with my sister. So I'm just here to say, remember the Compton cafeteria riots. You know, and remember Stonewall. It's all goes hand in hand.
No.
So,
No. We have nothing to do with Stonewall. You have something to do with Stonewall.
I'm talking about the Compton cafeteria
Yeah,
riots.
Stonewall was
That-
a mess. And
Well,
as
so
far
was
as
the Compton
black
cafeteria
trans
in
women,
Yes,
I'm
in
not
San
praising
Francisco.
Marsha
Stonewall
P.
for
Johnson.
nothing.
Yes,
And
Marsha
Sylvia
P. Johnson
Rivera.
and Miss Major Griffith Gracie. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she's living.
Yeah.
Them other
But-
two, their history, they've been known for it. We still have living icons doing this work.
Yeah.
That their names are not mentioned.
And I
so
want
I'm
to
not
say,
too sold on
and I want to
So
say,
mention
you're
them.
icon too, my dear.
Oh, I do.
You're iconic, darling, Miss Cayenne.
No, I'm-
Yes, you are. You're a living legend too, sweetie. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So let it be known to the public, she is an icon. She's an iconic. Yes.
I'm just doing the work. Somebody got to do it.
Okay. If I suck somebody off, will I get off this show? I wonder. Anyway,
What have you got back up?
Donald Trump, I hear you calling.
Oh.
Stud.
Have you ever been a sex worker?
Baby, I wrote the book. Yes, I've been.
BDSM.
I was a dominatrix.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
Here
It's a
goes
big
her
red
demeanor.
umbrella.
Yes.
Here goes her demeanor, sweetie.
Right.
Well, I was a natural talent. I
A natural calling.
just, yes, I
Yeah.
just decided to, hang out my shingle. And lovely men took an interest in my work.
See it?
But anyway,
She can't even speak.
I think it's important when we talk about uniting sex worker advocates across racial and class and geographic lines. I think it's important to, Sesta Fosta has been a real rallying moment because it's impacted all of us.
Sesta Fosta's that bill where?
Oh, absolutely. So the Sesta Fosta stands for Stop Enabling Sex Trafficking Act. It was passed recently in March and has had an immediate
Of 2018.
Yes, of 2018, and has had immediate devastating impact across the board.
We are shooting this on June 8th, 2018.
Because
legal
of-
and criminal sex work. There are perfectly legal strippers, porn
Yeah.
stars, and Instagram models who are being censored. There's perfectly legal sex worker organizing and harm reduction that's been
We've
criminalized
had
recently.
one of the biggest June 2nd International Horse Day.
Since 1975.
Really? June?
Yeah.
Oh, it
June
passed.
2nd.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
passed.
stop.
In June 2nd, just I don't can I nerd out here on my so June 2nd in 1975, over 100 old pros, mostly street-based sex workers, took over a church in Lyon, France, and
Father
held
John
it.
LeBlanc.
Yes, Father John LeBlanc of Saint Nazaire. I think I might not be. It's French. I don't know how to
And
pronounce
turn
it.
tricks in the church?
No. They
no.
occupied
They
it to
occupied the church.
protest to protest police brutality, and it started an international movement.
And he
Okay.
had images
Simone
on
de
the walls
Beauvoir
outside.
came
Yes.
to Paris.
Oh.
Yes.
I mean, this was a moment where
Jump us up. Tell us other people.
this was a
Yes.
real moment in
Except to
feminist
sex
history.
workers.
And it started an international
So sex workers
press.
have a rich history.
We have a rich history. The oldest
Yeah.
profession has a history, obviously.
Yes. Anyway, and there are so many permutations. There's,
I heard Betsy Ross was a sex worker
Betsy.
before she made the flag.
Mae West.
there you go. Mae
Mae
West was a
West,
real
yeah.
sex
The woman
worker.
that posed for the
I
Statue of
wouldn't want
Liberty.
Betsy Ross.
Wait, let's
right.
hear this.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Oh, I actually I haven't done my research yet on that. I mean, I know, but I don't remember her name and I don't remember the specifics of it. That's 4th of July episode coming up. Listen to the Oldest Profession podcast, and I'll tell you all about.
How
her
do we
then.
listen to the
my goodness.
oldest profession
Any
podcast?
place that you look, any place that you listen to podcasts, look for The Oldest Profession. You can find us. Our website is theoldestprofessionpodcast.com, and you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at oldpropodcast.
There you go. And I'll be honest with you, I loved being a sex worker. It was so much fun. And I stupidly retired to enter politics, and it's the
Gross.
dumbest damn thing I ever did in my life.
And you never felt like more
Well,
of a
you're
whore
still a sex
than
worker,
right.
Dawn.
Hello.
Yeah.
You're the dirty
You're
kind of
still a
whore when
whore.
you're in politics.
I was decent, and I then entered politics.
There are
Now I'm
such things as decent
filthy.
hoes. There are decent hoes out there. Every hoe is not indecent, honey.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
the good ones are the ones that trade sex
Yes.
for money. The bad ones are the ones that sell other stuff for money.
Because
Like
also
politics
when
or talking or advertising.
when you're just presenting yourself as a companion and there's no sex involved, you're still hoeing.
Oh, get out of here.
Yes,
That's
honey.
Oh, for
bullshit.
sure.
For sure. You're giving a service, honey.
When I was selling Kool-Aid,
Yes.
I was a whore. I'm sorry.
All right.
When I was at Starbucks, I was a whore.
I'm selling
When I was standing
television.
outside the
I'm
store, I
a
was a
whore.
We know.
Hallelujah, I'm a bum. Anyway, yeah.
Again, we are all whores in a capitalist system. So
Yes.
let's get over our shit and stop
Yes.
projecting it
Four
onto
hoes
sex
and a lady,
workers.
okay?
Yeah,
3
who's the
hoes and a
lady?
lady, okay?
Yeah, and the ladies' cut, yeah. Okay. So anyway, no, we're all crazy whores. But we all are. You are, I am, everyone is. I think. I don't know. Anyway, who are my guests here? Okay, my guests have been the wonderful podcaster and sex advocate, sex worker advocate, and stand-up comic.
Yes.
Ms. Caitlin Bailey.
You can follow me on Twitter at Caitlin Bailey. My parents misspelled my name. I think you can see it on the screen, but it is Kaytlin Bailey. And so if you like dick jokes and stuff, follow me on Twitter.
Yes, and she is a cisgender woman.
Yeah.
Next to her is a transgender woman.
Yes. Miss Billy Cooper.
Yes.
San Francisco's own Miss Billy Cooper. You can follow me anytime you want to, in general.
Just down the street.
Just
Just down the street.
down the street. Because I am an activist in San Francisco, and I am one of many trans women fighting for my sisters of all colors, for our rights and for respect and for dignity and for the...
Okay, and next we have...
Diane Doris Show, founder of Glitz, reoccurring co-host of The Oldest Profession with Caitlin
And
Bailey.
very frequent guest on the Diana Montford Show.
Yes, we
There I
need to
am.
get Caitlyn Jenner here.
No,
I heard
no,
she was a hoe once,
no.
too.
See, I'm having a problem.
Anyway, I'm Diana Montford, happy dominatrix turned miserable politician.
Yes.
At least I'm not a mortician or something.
Happy hoe
Not
day,
that I have
honey.
anything
Happy
against
hoe day.
morticians.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm Diana Montford. You're not. Live with it. No, I'm Diana Montford. I love you a lot. I don't know what this show turned into, but it was fun, right? Anyway,
Yes.
It was fun.
we're crazy whores, all of us. I love you a lot. See you next time. Bye.
Bye, you crazy hoes.
This was
Oh,
hilarious.
my God.
We're showing this right now.
No, you're not.
We were live?
No.
Oh, God. Edit it. Edit it.
Nobody works live.
Not with our political guests. They show up drunk. They do. They really
Are you
do.
kidding me?
No.
That's rude.
Yeah, they're a bunch. They're crazy.
So you have a card or something?
Absolutely.
I gotta fix my makeup in my hair. Oh, I could do that downstairs.
Yeah.
Love to meet you, Miss Billy.
Yes, can I get you have a card too, dear?
I don't.
Shh, we gotta whisper because they're working out here.
you, dear.
Of course. Thank you.
And we don't want to shake the waves.
Get all this stuff.
No, I need 5 chairs.
Oh, thank you so much.
There's 5 in there.
All right, look at that.
Thank you, my dear. It was meant to be.
Nice to meet
I hope
you.
I see you again.
I hope so too.
All right.
Anything left in there? No. Okay, well, you're all set. Have a blast.
Thank you, dear.
So they were.
Isn't that like that's divine intervention.
Yeah, so it's pretty much set up already.
That's divine intervention, Bronson. This was meant to be. So they got 5 speakers in here too, then, right?
5 mics. Yeah, I think so. There should be 5.
Wow. Look at that. Oh my God. Somebody playing this. I tell you, stuff like this happens to me all the time.
It might only be 4 mics, but they should.
We get another one.
No, is this someone's or is this? Oh, this is someone's. Let's make sure we get it to them.
Yeah, it's just a lot. Yeah, right there.
How you doing? Oh, woman after my heart.
Yeah. But then it's a shift, right? Now everything could be out of sync. But only by like a frame. That's why I said what could happen is if you just cut the audio, but you're gonna have a little chop and then move in everything. Like as well as the audio.
Okay, you got it.
You found them? Good. Thanks, Bronson.
Yes, it looks like there's only 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, so we get another one. I get another one. I gotta go downstairs. I can get it up here.
You're gonna speak to Brian when he's available right here.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not gonna be a sync issue. You're just gonna have like a little hiccup. Play it from here to there.